It's my great pleasure today to introduce my own former supervisor, Dr. Marzuki Jaafar, and we're very honored to have him today joining us. Associate Professor Dr. Marzuki Jaafar is an Associate Professor in Guidance and Counseling in University Putra Malaysia Faculty of Education Studies. Currently, Dr. Wan is also the Director of Center for Academic Development in University Putra Malaysia UPM. Beyond his academic portfolio, Dr. Marzuki is currently the President of the Board of Counselor Malaysia, supervising all of us under the Ministry of Women Development, Family and Community Malaysia. His area of specializations are guidance and counseling, counselors education and supervisions, career developments and counseling, mental health counseling, development of psychological instruments, computer and technology applications in education, social science, research, and soft skill. Besides being an administrator, Dr. Marzuki is an active researcher who has won $1 million grants before with over hundreds of publications. Dr. Wan is a consultant and an expert referee for various ministry agency as well as government sectors, especially in the area related to counseling and mental health. Let me pass the mic over to Dr. Wan to deliver his sessions on IR 4.0 Education's Convergent Curriculum. Dr. Wan, please.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh, and good afternoon to all of you. So thank you very much, Dr. Oi Pei Bones. Okay, so I think everybody already have a good lunch and also have enough rest. Okay. So of course, I would like to welcome also everyone today from Malaysia, as well as some of us, I think, from Philippines and other countries. So we are here in the seminar on the internal and external quality assurance SieQA 2021. So it's today. Maybe I would like to share with all of you on the IR 4.0 educations, focusing more on the discuss and share with all of you today on the convergence, curriculums, right? Okay, so I think I have some presentations first, and then of course we can have sharing session as well as Q&A, so we can share each other's, we learn from each other's, especially in terms of convergent curriculums, because I think today morning you already discussed about the fluids and dynamic curriculums. So the fluids and dynamic curriculums, of course, is interrelated with the convergence curriculums. Okay, so let me share slides.
We can see your slide, Dr. Wan.
Okay, it's good. Okay, this is about I would like to discuss this evening is about the sustainable curriculum education, IR 4.0 education is about the convergence curriculums. Okay, so thank you very much once again, Dr. Pei Bones, Dr. Pei Bones, for introducing me to all the seminar participants today. So we hope we can share together today, because I believe we all involved in at least in terms of curriculum development, as well as maybe some of us also involved in the programs accreditations. Okay, so just a little bit, because Dr. Ois already share with all of you. It's about a little bit about my background. Okay, I'm also I'm also lucky because I involved in the what we call in the with MQA in doing the accreditation program since I think it's more than 10 years ago, as well as I involved in the what we call the Joint Technical Committee (JTC). This is under the MQA as well as under the boards under the board of counselors focusing on the curriculums. Okay, for the accreditation. Okay, so we go for the, I just want to intro, this is an introduction in terms of the concept. When we discuss about the curriculum development, when we discuss about the, what we call the quality assurance, and as well as in the IR 4.0, now with the pandemics and so on, we also discuss about the fluids and dynamic curriculums, or what we call the organic curriculum, as well as is related to the convergence, what we call the convergence curriculum. So this is the main concept that we are going to discuss today. So the concept of the curriculum is about what we are going to do is about the concept of future, what we call the future ready curriculums. This was mentioned in the white paper entitled Realizing Human Potential in the Fourth Industrial Revolutions, an agenda for the leaders to shape the future of education, gender and works by the World Economic Forum in January 2017. Of course, it's also discussed in the Malaysia Future Ready Curriculum Framework and in 2018. So one of the three key features that impacts of the developments and deployments of the human talents today is about the future proposed by the white paper, statistics in education and training systems that have not been fully developed for the decades. So as a result, now is the talents generated by the system is no longer able to meet the new demands arising from the today's technological sophistication, as well as the explosion of the industrial revolution 4.0. And then of course it's now we discuss about the society 5.0. So this is what we call the emphasis on the challenge. What we always discuss about the incompatibles graduates to meet the needs of the industry. It has been incorporated in the Malaysian Education Development Plan, PPPM, in 2015 to 2025 under the higher educations. Is under the shift 1 is about the holistics, it's about the entrepreneurials and also the balance graduates. So of course we are in the higher education systems. In the university need to produce talented, skills and knowledgeable students who are ready for the challenge of the industrial revolution 4.0 era. Okay, so this is the things that we are going to discuss, and also we are going to do in the real world. So that's why we discuss about the flexibility in education, because the flexibility in education enables the education system to be modified in line with the current technological changes. Okay, so inevitably the country's educational landscape will have to be transformed. So we discuss about the transformation in such a tandem with such dynamic change. So the world is changed very fast. So education systems is also to do some transformation to make sure that our graduates that we are produced is compatible with the needs of the world. So the change that shape the lives of the today societies will also affect the country's education system. So in this sophisticated era of technology, students are given the choice to make decisions about their field of studies, where and when they want to learn. Okay, so it is required the changes in how teaching and learning should be implemented in the learning environment, because we are going to produce what we call the future-proof graduates. This is This is our aims, right? Okay, so this is just a little bit. In Malaysia, we do a lot of things is according to the Malaysia Education Blueprints is focused on the higher education 2015 2025. So this is how the ministry recognize that the system will need to keep evolving to stay abreast with if we're not ahead of the global trends. For examples, in terms of what we are already discussed about the technology, the disruptive of technology such as advanced robotics, the IoT, the Internet of Things, okay, and then the automation of knowledge works are expected to be dramatically reshape the business and social landscapes from what it is today. So we are preparing Malaysian, for example, if the Malaysian youth to thrive in the complex and ever-changing future, we require an equally fundamental transformation of how the higher education system and higher learning institutions currently operate. So this is what we call the journey that we are going according to the blueprints. Okay, the was developed by Malaysian for Malaysian, and it will equip Malaysia for the final legs of its journey towards becoming a high income nation. This is the aims. Okay, so of course, in the Malaysia, in the blueprint, of course, this is about the students' aspirations in terms of we are going to have a soft skills, it's like the ethics and spirituality, leadership skills, as well as ethics and morality. The national identity is about how we want to improve the language proficiencies. We are going to improve the thinking skills, appreciate the diverse view, is for the think critically and be innovative, has a problem-solving initiative and entrepreneurial mindset. So this is as well as the mastery the own knowledge, the body of knowledge of the field that they learn, they study, and so on. Right. So this is the main aspiration. That is. And then we also move thing is about the 10 shift from the Malaysia Education Blueprints higher education. This is to achieve the systems and the students' aspirations. The Malaysia Education Blueprint is in higher education is outlined the 10 shift here. So the first one that I already mentioned is about the holistics, entrepreneur and balanced graduate, and the second one is about the talent management, the talent excellence. As well, there is a lot of things that we are going to move. And then, of course, if you see in the ninth, the ninth shift is about the globalized online learning. So this is the shift that we are participate in the lifelong learning. And then it's in the higher education system, ecosystem, funding, governance, innovation, internalization, online learning, as well as delivery. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so this is the holistic entrepreneur and balance. Graduates we need, and also the talent excellence. So why does it matter? Why will success look like? How we will achieve this? So this is okay according we move forward. Is according to the MEB Malaysia Education Blueprint for the higher education, right? Okay, so when we discuss all these things, we have to understand the very main concept first. Okay, before I focus in the towards the convergence curriculums. So the first thing is about the transformation. How do we transform? Because the transformation means a significant change in form or structures. So in the context of academia, a transformation is an initiative to revamp the academic ecosystems in order to confront future challenges by upholding the essence of the curriculum, which are subject matter, methods of delivery, and assessment measure. So when we discuss about the curriculum development and so on, we cannot we have to hold to the curriculum itself is about the subject matters, is about the delivery, is about the assessment. There is three things when we discuss about the curriculum. Curriculum itself, delivery methods, and assessment. So hence the academic transformation is also defined as a synergized initiative to redesign the curriculum structure. It's about to redesign the curriculum structures, innovates the teaching and learning delivery methods, as well as diversifies the assessment measures in order to optimize students' learning experience and ability to produce future-proof graduates. Is right. So that's why the academic transformation is implemented through the progressive institutional convergence by people as agents of transformations towards achieving inclusive and equitable education. Right. So this transformation is made possible by dynamics and vibrant policy. One is by dynamic and vibrant policy, mechanism and processes. Then it will provide us, it will provide the greater opportunity for students to graduate with the full potential and talent in confronting future challenge. That's right. Okay. So I just share with you is about how the sustainable curriculum for the IR 4.0 education is about the convergence curriculums. So the impact on, we discussed about the impacts on the learning experience. So you can see here, before this, what we in terms of our old, or what we call the very traditional curriculum is, because we think one size fits all. So what we are going to move is a personalized delivery. We have to do maybe innovative delivery to make sure we fulfill all the needs of our students. And then, of course, we discuss about highly guided learner. For we move forward towards self-determined learners. We have a grade-driven assessment before. We move forward based on the competency-based assessment. And we have in our curriculum, in terms of single disciplines, now we are moving what we call the convergence of discipline. Yeah? It's convergence of discipline. So later I will discuss how we try to move from the singles discipline to towards convergence disciplines. Okay, sorry. So there is a simple survey. It's a simple survey. We did the simple survey in terms of how people perceived in terms of, we discussed about the flexible curriculum, we discussed about the innovative delivery, and we discussed about the alternative assessment we call. So I can say here, it's about 86.1% lecturers agree with the concept of flexible curriculum. So the majority of us is agree. Okay, they said it's about the major minor and so on. It's about the students agree with the concept of flexible curriculum. And then what we can conclude is from the finding is the current curriculum does not encourage discipline convergence. Okay, so it's as well as the other you can see here. It's about the alternative assessment, how the innovative delivery, and so on. Right. So now, when we are going to discuss about the convergence curriculum, why? Because we want to produce the future-proof graduates. Because the future-proof graduate needs to equip themselves with various skills. So we have to provide them to choose the skills needed by our students. So various skills so they could sustain the challenge beyond the tertiary education. And then of course, meaningful learning experience is one of the means for them to acquire the skills. And then the third one is about the accomplishment of the skill could also be achieved through the active participation in collaborative and cooperative learning environment. So it is important about the active participation in the collaborative and cooperative learning environment, either through the physical or virtual learnings activities. That's right. And then this is I share with you from the UPM perspective how we can see in terms of the attributes, the future-proof graduates. The main attribute is about the skill that they have to be achieved through the active participation in collaborative and cooperative learnings, either through physical or virtual learnings. For example, the criticals and problem solving. The problem can be solved by identifying the root cause and evaluating potential solution. It's about the citizenship. Citizenships is about the sense of belongingness, allow learner to take charge of the learning, reflects the benefits and contribute to the community and surrounding stakeholder by applying the knowledge. Okay, and also the collaborative, the attribute of collaboration is about togetherness in progressing the learning allows activity that benefit from the collective intelligence, as well as what we call the characters, the discipline, the personal trait, the communication, the interaction with peers allow learning to grow through the exchange of the hypothesis and comparatively evaluating perceived knowledge, and also the creativity. It's a creativity. A creative is allow learning to progress by self-determined action and to steer from a trapping challenge into the alternative solution. Okay, so this is what the attribute that we need for our students, right? This is of course in UPMs we are going to do it's about the academic transformation. This is we already start with a few concepts, and then most of the programs try to move on with the concept that we are conceptualize here. Is the model that we try to conceptualize. For example, in terms of the what we call the one is about the future proof. One our graduate for the future proof is about the flexibles. So we have a flexible, what we call the flexible curriculum, is about the convergence of the discipline that is a fluid and organic and flowing and adapting to change. And then, of course, in terms of assessment also, it's about authentic assessment, personal response, real-time achievement, and it's about the diversity, so on. And it's about the integrative delivery. It's about the face-to-face delivery. It's about the how learning environment. It's how the immersive learning, heutagogy, cybergogy, paragogy online as well. There is a lot of all the gogi. It's about the methods of the delivery. Okay, so this is about the how the academic transformation roadmap we can see here. Okay, for example, right, the current situation in terms of our curriculum, most of our curriculums in the I don't say this every universities in the private and also the public universities, but normally the traditional one is about our curriculum. The current situation is about the specific knowledge skill within the particular body of knowledge, and then of course it's about rigid study path. That's right. So what strategy that we can have in terms of transformation in terms of the curriculums, right? Our strategy is we can use is about the we have to change, we have to move in terms of we have to update in terms of policy, in terms of mechanism, in terms of procedures on the diverse study path. For examples, academic program which double degree, double major, and major minor. We can have a flexible course offered and elective course offered in the various groups. So this is normally we can see the double degree, double major, major minor. Of course, graduate from the academic program. the numbers of the new academic programs, the number of enrollment for the flexible course. So this is how we can see that how many programs that we can do like this, right? And then of course, when we transform our curriculum, of course, we have also to transform the delivery methods. So the current situation is about the low engagement delivery method, emphasize on assessment preparation, blended learning supporting and substitute MOOC as a blended learning. Of course, we can have a lot of things. This is like the MOOC credit transfer. We have also the micro credentials now. We have a global exchange, okay, global online learning. We can have a MOOC beyond the blended learning and so on. And also in terms of assessment also, now we have a lot of rigid assessment structure, paper-based final assessment, grade-based assessment, emphasize on the mastery of knowledge. We can also update and moving to the flexible assessment structures by using the range of percentage for the continuous and final assessment, assessment focus on the thinking and learning, as well as assessment emphasizes on what students can do. Okay, so of course there is a lot of things that we can move in terms of academics transformations. Okay. So if you have any questions, any idea or any suggestion, I think you can share in the chat rooms. Okay, that's right. So you can interrupt me. It's okay, no problems. Okay, I can go to next slide, right? So I just overview. I think some of you have we have discussed a lot. So when we discuss about the convergence and so on, of course we have to go back to the main concept. What does it mean by flexible curriculums? So conceptually, flexible curriculum is described as a curriculum that emphasizes two key characteristics, which are fluids and organics. Okay. The word fluid is referred to the nature of the substance that is continuously flowing, liquid, and unsolidified. A fluid curriculum is therefore not fixed or rigid. So it's easily to adapt and adjust in response to the circumstances. Okay, and then the word organic is referred to the natural characteristics, one that is not synthetic or artificial. So an organic curriculum, therefore, is one which encourages learning to grow in the natural states, whereby students are allowed to grow as a learner by exploring knowledge or skills on their own choice. Okay, so we discussed about the convergence. It's about the convergent curriculums. So this is what we call the convergence of disciplines, right? So the content, when we discuss about convergence curriculum, we have to understand the flexible. First is about the flexible curriculums, right? So the content of the flexible curriculums should be vibrant and alive and should be able to develop naturally. So the content must also not be rigid and should be able to respond to the current changes. Such characteristic can be realistic through a convergence of disciplines, whereby the existing knowledge and skills are combined. Okay, or expand and also interacted via interdisciplinary, interdisciplinary, via multidisciplinary, or via transdisciplinary approaches. So the convergence of disciplines enables the curriculum to become flexible, right? As a new knowledge and skills emerge in response to the current development changes and needs. Okay, for example here, what does it mean by multidisciplinary? The multidisciplinary is about two or several different disciplines combined to solve the same problem or issues through the perspective of each discipline. So all disciplines remain within their own borders. This is about the meaning of the multidisciplinary. disciplinary. And then in terms of interdisciplinary, it's about two different disciplines integrate to solve the same problem or issues through an integration of perspective. From the both disciplines, the boundaries between disciplines are beginning to be loosened. Right, this is the difference. Multidisciplinary, they have their own border. And then interdisciplinary, the disciplines integrate together. It's the boundaries between disciplines are beginning to be loosened. And transdisciplinary is a two or several different discipline is combined to solve the same problem or issues through a common perspective which transcends the combined disciplines, and the boundaries between disciplines are fully loosened, thus producing a new discipline. This is what it mean by the transdisciplinary. That's right. Okay, so I think everybody get this concept. This is very important. When we are going to discuss about the convergence of the discipline in the convergence curriculums. Okay, of course, it lead to the diverse study paths, where the student interest, the advancement in the technology, the changes in industrial landscapes, and as well as the global needs. So, a flexible curriculum is characterized by its ability to meet the students' individual needs. So the students have the, we empower the students maybe to choose how to integrate in terms of the needs for their own needs for their studies. Such characteristic can be achieved. It's about the true curriculum structure that gives students freedoms, the freedom to choose the knowledge and skill that they desire to learn. Okay, this is the important concept. So, therefore, a flexible curriculum should allow for the convergence of discipline and should allow students the freedom to design their own study path. So, the flexible curriculum is considers students' interest and respond to the student interest, including the advancement in the technology, changes in industrial landscape, and also the global needs. So that is the beauty of the what we call the diverse study paths, or what we call the convergence, curriculums. That's right. Okay. This is the nature of the flexible curriculum. When we discuss the nature of flexible curriculum, so the flexible curriculum is a curriculum that is vibrant and is continuously growing in keeping with the students' personal interests and needs. So the flexible curriculum is also not fixed or not rigid. It allows students to develop their individual potentials through the knowledge and skills that they are interested in, or they are the needs. So in order to deal with the future challenge. So the student can choose, the student can adjust what they need for their learnings, right? So the nature of the flexible curriculum should be one that encourages a convergence of discipline. It's about convergence of disciplines and offers students with a choice that enable them to design their own studies. Okay, so this is what we call the flexible curriculum. Okay. Yeah, this is a simple studies that we have done, a survey of students' views on existing and flexible curriculum. So the question that we asked them is, are the courses you follow in the same field of studies? Yeah, most of them, they said yes. So it is not flexible yet, right? But we asked their opinions, their views on the flexible curriculum, and that they agree to be given if they are given the opportunity to integrate the core program with other fields. So do you agree? We asked. Most of them agree in terms of flexibilities. And also we ask them if we give the freedom to choose the elective courses. So most of them said yes, they agree. So the findings give the impression that most students welcomes effort to develop the curriculum structures that encourage a convergence of disciplines, and that give them the freedom to design their own learning. Right. So that, what we can say here, they are ready to move towards the convergence curriculums, the flexible curriculum, the organic curriculum, okay, the fluid curriculum. So by doing the by doing the convergence, the curriculums. Okay, so this is the characteristics. It's about the convergence discipline. Okay, the characteristic is about the convergent disciplines. It's about one is is encourage the interdisciplinary. It's about what we discussed before. It's about multidisciplinary and as well as the transdisciplinary approach. Of course, in terms of various study paths, it will fulfill the students' personal and individual needs and interests. We give the flexibility to the students to choose the fields of their interest, the knowledge of interest. Okay, and then the second one is about this allows the emergence of the new knowledge and skill based on the existing programs. And then of course we give the student liberty to learn the knowledge or the skills they desire. Okay, and then it's about we provide also more options in learning. So they are flexible. There is a lot of options where they are going to the universities. They have the core, maybe they have the core fields that they go on, and then they have a lot of flexibility to choose the courses and as well as the minors or to the interdiscipline, transdiscipline, multidiscipline, and so on. So it's allowed the students to design their own study program. So finally, it is very, very interesting if we have what we call the flexible curriculum, that we can do the convergence curriculums. We give our students flexibility to design their own study program. That's right. Okay, I just share from UPM perspective a little bit. Okay, this is what we can do. This is the types of program structure that we all of us can do. One, of course, the normal thing is about our program. Most of the program is what we call the single major programs. Okay, for example, we have a bachelor of chemistry. We have a bachelor in human resource and development. Okay, so the programs is what we call, if a single major is normally the program at least 70% of its component in the main area is focused on the core component. Okay, and then the flexibility lies in the elective component only. Okay, so normally, we can say most of the professional body, they only give the flexibility within the single major or major which are specializations. Okay, we go to the program what we call major with specialization is a programs which are specialized fields or elective covering is around 25 to 30% of the knowledge in the main area. Okay, they have the core components, and then the specialty is covering the knowledge in the main area. Major with specialization is a support the similar knowledge is about the focus knowledge. That's right. So student normally in the major with specialization, what we can do, students are free to choose elective courses, or flexibility lies in the choice of the specialization. So now here, when we are going to develop the convergence curriculum, so okay, we want to apply the concept of convergent curriculum. So we are in the new universities. Of course, we can have, we can develop a few specializations, maybe one major which a choice of 5 specialization, for example. So the student have a quite a flexibility what specialization they are going to choose. That's right. And then the third one is what we call the major minor. Okay, the program which minor is electives covering is around 25 to 30% of the knowledge in the field of others, the main of area. So what is the different major with specialization and major minor? Okay, so the main difference is the major with specialization is the elective is the knowledge of the main area, but major minor normally is about the elective is the other knowledge, the other fields other than the main area of major. It's a different from the core knowledge. Okay, students, if we develop this, students are free to choose elective courses as a minor. The flexibility is lies to the choice of minor, which allows for the convergence of discipline. For example, students maybe they did the Bachelor of Human Resource Development, and then one minor they did the maybe minor in the in law, for example. So it's about how they converge two disciplines, right? The major discipline and the other what we call the minor is about in the different fields. Okay, and then the fourth one is about double majors. Okay, so the double majors, the program is combined of two different areas of the same general disciplines. So each major normally consists at least 50% knowledge from core. Each major is quite balanced. Major A and major B, specialization, the body of knowledge A, the body of knowledge B. Okay, and then when we develop the double major, okay, so the structures and also I think the MQA allows us, okay, 30% equivalent or overlappings and focus on the core area is about the overlapping. So it's a decrease the credit loads of the students, right? So it's focused on the convergence. It's about we converge of the two different area. This is what we call the double major. So the flexibilities lies in the choice of the second major that differ from the first major but is under the same general discipline. Okay, normally like that. It's in the under social science, it is normally they combine under social science. It is normally like that, even though in the different core knowledge. Okay, and then we have one more thing. It's about what we call the double degree. It's a double degree. It's about the convergence also. It's about programs combines two study programs from the different fields. So each program consists of equal credits. So it's allowed 20% equivalence or overlapping. Normally, it's a discipline, what we call the university courses, okay, or what we call the general course. So it's focused on the convergence of the two different areas. So the flexibility is lies to the second program option. So we give you the first study program, you can choose a package of the one more degree that you can combine, and then you can receive it the double degree. So this is the concept of the main concept how we can do the convergence in our curriculums, or what we call we can transform in terms of from the conventional curriculum towards the flexible curriculums. That's right. Okay. So if you have any questions, okay, before I proceed to there is a few slides I can open. Maybe you have any ideas or anything that you are like to share. It's maybe. Do you have any questions? Yeah, we can open around maybe 5 minutes first before I continue.
I have allowed participants to speak through the mic so they can actually unmute themselves.
Or they can unmute themselves, right?
Yep.
Okay, if you have any questions or you have any suggestions, you can ask.
There's one question on the chat box.
Yes. How does convergence curriculum affect to the depth of learning? This is right. Of course, it's of course it's a little bit. I can say normally we give the convergence or the flexibles in terms of curriculums. Of course, it will affect a little bit, but the strength is they know how to combine. Okay, they can set their field of studies because they can plan. Our students can plan where they are going to work after they graduate. Okay, that's why I said before. It is normally the professional bodies, they only allow not all, but most of the professional body, they are only allow in terms of the what we call the single major. This is no convergence, or this is only major minors or major with a specialization. It's a core. They take care of the core. It's only the minor or the specialization is add on. Okay, so in terms of specialization, is add-on is okay, but the major and minor, of course, it's affect a little bit, but I think it depends on the body of knowledge. That's right. Okay, so thank you, Dr. Tan Si Hui. Okay, we have one more questions from Dr. Sun Poi Hun. How will the IR 4.0 education convergently improve employer satisfaction? Is there any? Okay. Yes, of course. It's good. It's a good question. I think Dr. Oy can do some in terms of employer satisfaction with the convergent curriculum, because for your information, from my observation, Dr. Soons, not many. We still have the concept of the flexible curriculum, the concept of the fluid and organic curriculum we have, but not many. I can say most of our universities is still practice the conventional one, the conventional one. That's why we discuss this, because we are going to move on in terms of academic transformation. So we hope, because from our early observations, the needs from the employer is a difference, because they need the combination. For examples, even though you are in the human resource development, we need people who got the body of knowledge in human resource development with the maybe in terms of the IT knowledge. So the combination between the major is in human resource development and the knowledge in IT. But somehow, maybe the employer also need people who have a knowledge in human resource development and minor in the maybe the labor law, for example. Okay, so there is a few things that they need, right? And also our students can plan where they are going to go towards. Okay, what they are going to do after they graduate. Okay, so hope I can answer Dr. Soon's questions. Okay, Dr. Narisha Balena, right? Okay, thank you, Dr. Soon. Thank you also. What is the difference between rigid assessment structure and flexible assessment structures? Okay, this is about the assessment. It's okay. I can, because for our information, for all of us, when we discuss about curriculums, okay, even though the main discussion today is about the curriculums, but of course we cannot we cannot go we cannot run curriculum itself. When discuss about curriculum, there is a delivery, there is a assessment of the students' attainments. This is what we call the what we call the outcome-based educations, right? We discuss outcome-based education, competency-based educations. So of course, we call the alternative assessment is quite flexible assessment structure. Okay, for examples, normally the conventional one is about the exams, paper-based only. So you can do in terms of the continuous assessments, or you can go more flexible by doing the continuous assessment using the alternative assessment. For example, the alternative assessment that we can observe is from the skill-based. Okay, how our students did, how our students' presentation, how our students discuss about the case studies. We do the problem-based learning, POBLs, problem-based learning, case studies, as well as many things that you can do in terms of a flexible assessment. Either from only the traditional assessment is only measure. It is not normally is to measure memorizing, to measure the is only in terms of knowledge, or what we call the paper-based only. So we can choose. We can choose a lot of alternative to assess the students' learning outcomes. Okay, so or the program's outcome. So of course, when you teach one subject, of course you assess students according to the learning outcomes or course learning outcome that we did or that we promised to our students. Okay. So, okay, thank you, Dr. Narisha Belena. So, if no more questions, thank you very much for the questions. So I can continue a little bit, is right?
Yes, please.
Okay. We already discussed about the types of the program structure in terms of how you can convert, in terms of how we can converge the curriculums, right? This is normally in terms of depths of learning. Of course, the major, the single major is normally they say is the best, but in terms of the flexibles, normally we can do the majors with specialization, major minor, double major, and also the double degree, right? So I hope everyone here understands about the concepts of the how curriculum is run, right? So I just overview in terms of the a program nomenclature. It's a program nomenclature is about the give a comprehensive overview of the qualification levels and fields of an academic program based on the three components. For example, in terms of qualification levels, we have a level of academic programs, right? So everybody understands here, we have a level academic program. For examples, we have a diploma, we have a bachelor, we have masters, and we have a maybe EDD or PhD or Doctor of Philosophy. So the first is we have to understand the level of academic programs. That is only we go for the broad disciplines area. So the broad discipline area, okay, is referred to the general fields of academic programs. For examples, a Bachelor of Science, Bachelor of Arts is a broad discipline area, or Bachelor of Education, right? So that's why we have a Bachelor of Science, Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Education, or we have a Master of Science, Master of Arts, or Masters of Education. And then we go for the third one is about the what we call the qualifier. Main areas representing 50% to 65% in general discipline. For examples, the discipline is chemistry. So we have the name, it should be Bachelor of Science in Chemistry, which honors, for example. Or we have a Malay Literature, Bachelor of Arts in Malay Literature. And then we have maybe Bachelor of Education, maybe. For example, the Bachelor of Education in Guidance and Counseling, for example, or Bachelor of Education in English, for example. Okay, so this is a the program nomenclature that is normally we follow when we want to brands or we want to do the curriculums, to develop the curriculums, right? So the name of the study program is stated normally in the offer letter, identically to the names, okay, in the student administration system, okay, for examples, in the Department of Higher Education, Ministry of Education Malaysia, and application for the National Higher Education Fund Corporation in Malaysia is about PTPTNs, okay, as well as there is a lot of things is how we want to name, or we can want to give the name of for our programs, right? This is what we call the programs nomenclature. Okay. I just share with you in the names of the degree awarded to the students upon fulfilling the requirements stipulated. Okay, I just take the example from UPM, for example. So the name of the degree is determined by the choice of study path and by students, and not necessarily the same program name stated as offer letter. This is the ideas. This is the ideas that we are going to do. Okay, for examples, of course, in the major is very simple. In one single major, for example, you have a single major, Bachelor of Science in Human Resource Development, which honors. So single majors. Okay, Bachelor of Arts in Counseling, Bachelor of Science in Counseling, which honors. So is one, what we call the single majors. But normally, if the major with the specialization, the nomenclature of the degree is normally we have with. Okay. We have the in the inverted, right? Okay. Bachelor of Science in Chemistry, Environmental Management. So this is show the specialization. We have Bachelor of Arts in Malay Literature is Performing Arts. Okay. Which honors. Okay, and then this is what we call the specializations, right? So, and then the nomenclature for the major minors is normally is a with Bachelor of Science in Chemistry. What is the minor? Which entrepreneurship. Bachelor of Arts, which multimedia application. Okay, Bachelor of Human Resource Development with what? Okay, Bachelor of Malay Language with Education, for example. So this is a major minor. And then if we did the programs for the double major, so the nomenclature is normally we use and. So Bachelor of Science in Chemistry and what? Food Technology. Okay. Bachelor of Arts and Human Communication. Bachelor of Arts in Malay Literature and Human Communication. Okay. Bachelor of Human Resource Development and Multimedia Application, for example. So this is double major. Is normally we use the word and. And then if we have a double degree, okay, the double degrees normally the nomenclature is Bachelor of Science in Chemistry, which honors, and Bachelor of Consumer Studies, which honors. So it's a two bachelor. Okay. Bachelor of Arts in Human Resource Development, which honors, and Bachelor of Recreational Science, for example. Okay, so we have two. This is how the nomenclature of the programs, right? So this is how when we want to we develop the curriculum, the nomenclature of the curriculum, and as well as how we give the names to our program, right? Okay. Okay. So this is the strength. I want to share with you what is the strength and challenge. What is the strength and challenge? Okay, for the convergence curriculum. For example, the question asked before, is it the dilutes in terms of body of knowledge, for example? So of course, in terms of major, single major, Okay, in terms of single major, is the strength is normally the students graduate with a specific periods. So normally they can plan their time, the graduation times, right? Okay, students obtain a degree which clearly illustrates the field. Okay, this is what we call the single major. Okay, and then the students are free to integrate the core courses with elective courses. So normally the single major, we give the freedoms for them is only for the elective courses. And then of course, the faculty develops curriculum by focusing on the main area. So this is in terms of strengths, right? But they still have a challenge, right? Faculty needs to be meticulous in the timetabling. Students should have a basic knowledge of elective courses. Convergence of discipline and field may not be realized. So the single major, normally we can say there is a convergence curriculum. It is quite challenging to have a convergence curriculum in the single major program. Okay, so if we go for the major with specializations, right? We have a strengths. One is about the students graduate within, of course, the strength is student also we have we graduates within a specific periods of times, and students also obtains a degree which clearly illustrates field of specialization, and students are free to integrate core courses with elective courses, and faculties develops curriculum by focusing on the main areas. The challenge is faculty need to be, of course, the similar challenge. Students should have a basic knowledge of elective courses, and where, of course, the convergence of discipline and fee may not be realized. So, and then when we discuss about the major minor, right? The major minor, the strengths, students graduate with a specific periods, of course. Students obtain a degree which clearly illustrate major and minor fields. Okay, and students develop knowledge, skills in different fields, and convergence of discipline fields can be realized. Okay, students have a lot of, they go to enter the universities, one major, and then they have the flexibility to choose the minor. For example, the universities or the faculties can prepare the minor curriculums, maybe 10 minor curriculums, or 12 minor curriculum, or 20 minor curriculum. The student have the ability, the student have a freedoms to choose which minor they are interested to have extra knowledge in. Okay. And then, of course, in terms of faculty needs to be flexible. One, to be flexible in timetablings. And of course, the faculty's lecturers should be develop flexible students' learning times, as well as the lecturers should adopt innovative teaching and learning methods, and lecturers should implement the flexible assessment method as well, right? Okay, so that is the major minor. Okay, and then we have what we call the double majors. Okay, double majors is what is the strength if we have a double major programs, right? One is a students obtain a degree which illustrate to different discipline, to different disciplines. Students develop technical knowledge skill into different area. So they have two different area of knowledge and skills. And then, of course, it's a convergence of discipline field can be realized. So this is what we call we converge the curriculum. It's about the convergence of the curriculum in terms of the integrations. So, and then, of course, the faculty can expand field of studies through the integration or applications, right? And then, of course, the challenge, students have no longer study periods. Students find studying in two different areas also challenging, okay, because of the two different areas. And faculty needs to coordinate flexible timetabling with other faculties. So faculties, lecturers should develop flexible students' learning times. So lecturers should adopt innovative teachings and also as well as learning methods. That's right. Okay, this is a double major, and then we have what we call the double degree. The double degree, the strengths to be a double degree, students obtain 2 degrees. Okay. Okay. Normally in the period of studies, maybe it is longer. And of course, if we plan a student can graduate 4 years, maybe double degree they have to move is until 5 years. Okay, and then convergence of discipline field can be realized. Faculty can expand field of studies through the integration or application. And then of course, the challenge to have a double degree is students have a longer study periods. Students find studying 2 different programs is challenging because of the 2 different body of knowledge, right? So students have to have a quite maybe more effort, okay, to understand 2 different areas, 2 different fields of studies. And then the faculty needs to coordinate flexible timetabling, which are the faculties, and the faculty's lecturers should develop flexible students' learning time, as well as lecturers should adopt innovative teaching and learnings. That's right. Okay. Okay, so I think that there is some a few questions here.
Yes, correct.
Okay. The last one, okay, we take 10 minutes? Yes, that's right. 10-minute breaks before we continue. You want to have a 10-minute break first? Okay, this is not question, it's a request, a special request. Because maybe some of you're going to go to the restrooms. Okay, it's right. So we can have 10-minute breaks. Now we are 3:06. So we continue on the 3:07. So we continue 3:17 p.m. That's right.
Okay.
So thank you. We can have a 10-minute break first. Okay, and then after that, I'm going to answer the questions. Okay. So thank you very much. Hopefully, we have settled our personal issues to go to the restrooms, right? Okay. So there is a few questions. So before we continue to the slides, right? Um, so we have one question from Dr. Ng. Do we need to get accreditation for each of the major with specialization, major minor, and etc.? Okay. Of course, for the time being, this is our practice. Of course, we have to have we have to get the accreditations, especially for the each major, and as well as major with specialization. This is the current practice. The current practice. Okay. So for your information, we also have one. Discussions which hopefully we can get we can do some flexibility with MQA. I'm also involved, especially the program maybe in terms of major minor, in case the maybe there's some flexibility that can MQA give, especially with the, of course, the single major, there is no issues. The major with specialization, there is no issues. Or we can have some flexibilities in terms of when we prepare the program, we can apply for the major with specialization, but we give the we already ready for the, for example, five specialization for the curriculums, right? So our programs, they know that they have. They know that we have already prepared one major with with 5 or with 10 specialization that give the flexibility for our students to choose. Okay. This is we can work out that. I believe that we can work out to move from the normal practice toward the more flexible practice. Okay, and then the second question is that Dr. Ng asked is about do they have some NEC codes? Same NEC codes, or how many programs will end up in the MQR? Of course, now if we have a double major or we have a double degree, of course we can use. I believe we can use the two NEC code at least. This is not one NEC code, but of course in terms of single major, this is normally we use one NEC code, right? So that is the flexibility that we should have. Okay, so thank you, Dr. Ng. And then okay, Dr. Evelyn Gunn asked is about for the double degrees, do graduate receive 2 transcripts for each of the single degrees, or 1 transcript only for the whole double degree program? Okay, so this is another things that, of course, hopefully there is the flexibility that we have from the university management. Of course, there is what we call the strengths and the weaknesses. Of course, if they have our graduate can get the 2 transcript and 2 degrees is good. I think this is a practice. Okay, so we can check with this thing of with the MQA. Okay, so but the strength that they have a double degree at least, they have more opportunity. To one is about the knowledge. They got the doubles or the 2 knowledge from the different fields, and then in terms of flexibilities for our graduates to get the jobs, also the opportunity is more is compared to if they have only 1 degree. That's right. Okay, so thank you, Dr. Evelyn. And then Yeah, of course, I will give it. We share the PowerPoint letter, which the Dr. Paibun letter. Okay, so you can get uh, you can get the PowerPoint letter. Okay. Okay, Dr. Suns have maybe the ideas here also to implement convergence curriculum successfully and shapes the skills of graduate better flexible assessment structure is needed. Yes, I agree with you, Dr. Suns. Okay. So, however, certain programs are required to have a certain percentage of the final examinations in the final assessment. Will MQA have flexibility in assessment structures by removing the final exam, maybe in the scene of future? Yes, of course. I also agree. When we discuss about the curriculum development for our informations, okay, of course there is a program that we used. The general standards is the general standards by the produced or prepared by the MQA, and also the specific standards. Okay, specific standard, for examples, the standard for the psychology program, the standard for the maybe engineering program and so on, or accounting and so on. There is a specific things that they need us to have a certain portions for the final exam. So I believe, of course, later is according to the nature of the program. There is some courses that is allowed to be flexibly, we can access through the alternative assessment. This is not only for the paper pencils assessment or the final exams only. So we can do the continuous assessments, right? So we give the flexibilities. When we discuss about the flexible curriculum, of course, we also can do the flexible assessment structure. So, for examples, you can see in future, of course, I believe we can have more subjects. There is no need the final exam, but of course there is certain body of knowledge they need the final exam for the one portion of the assessment. Okay, for example, if you see, of course, the nature of the course, for example, industrial trainings or internships, of course there is no final exam. Okay, so we do the continuous assessment. This is how we assess our students' achievement to achieve the LO status in the curriculums or in the course. So I think, of course, my personal views, we can have more flexibles in terms of the final assessment, in terms of the flexible assessment, or we can use what we call the alternative assessment to assess the student achievement of the course learning outcome, because finally we want to assess the program educational outcome as well. Okay. So any questions? Okay, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Sona. Thank you. So if you have any question, you can have maybe you just put in the or you can unmute your mics, and then you can answer, or if you have any other opinions also, you can share with us here. Okay, so I can continue a little bit. Okay. So we have discussed about the strength and challenges during the study period in terms of the strength and challenge for our graduates in terms of major, single major, curricular, major with specialization, major minor, double major, or double degree, right? Okay. So this is open graduation. Okay, we can overview. This open graduation is, of course, there is a strength and challenge also for our graduates when they follow the major, the single major program. Of course, in terms of strengths, a graduate have expansive knowledge because a single major, expansive knowledge or skill in a major area for daily life. So graduate receive comprehensive exposure to the key concept in the main fields, and of course can utilize them to solve nations or global issues. And then the challenge is the job opportunities are limited maybe, okay, to a major area as stated on the degree scrolls. This is the challenge faced by students who go for the single majors. And then the graduates are less likely to have additional knowledge or additional skills outside the fields. And then if we go to the major with specializations, the strengths that graduates have is they have also graduate have expansive specialized knowledge or skills in major area for daily life, and graduate receive comprehensive exposure to the key concept and specialized knowledge or skills in the main field, and can utilize them to solve the national or global issues. And then the challenge also is quite similar with the major, single major. So the job opportunities are limited to major areas and specialization as stated on the degree scores. And then graduates are less likely to have additional knowledge outside the fields. That's right. And then of course, in terms of major minor, what is the strengths if they follow the major minor? So the graduates are ready for the latest global development after pursuing minor in line with current needs. That's right. So graduates have added values in having knowledge and skills outside the main fields, and the job opportunity are wider, with an additional fields stated on the degree scrolls. So the challenge is graduates are expected to have knowledge or skill into field of studies, maybe. So graduates are assumed to be more competent than graduates from major and major with specialization program structures, and graduates are expected to be resilient and versatile, having been exposed to an additional field of studies. This is the challenge that our graduate will face. And then if we go for the double majors, okay, what is the strengths? Okay, so the strengths of double major is a graduate are ready for the latest global developments after pursuing two majors in line with current needs. And then graduate have much added values in having knowledge and skills in two different fields, right? It's a big double major. Of course, the job opportunity are much wider with two different fields stated on the degree scrolls. And then the challenge is graduates are expected to have knowledge skill in two field of studies. It's it's two majors, right? So graduates are assumed to be more competent than graduates from the conventional single major program structure, and graduates are expected to be very resilient and versatile, having majored in two different fields of studies. And then for the double degree, graduates are ready for the latest global developments after pursuing two degree program in line with the current needs. So graduates have much added values in having strong knowledge and skill in two areas. And then, of course, the job opportunities are considerably wider with two different degree programs stated on the degree scrolls. And then the challenge is graduates are expected to have extensive knowledge or skill from two areas, and graduates are assumed to be more competent than graduates from other program structures, and graduates are expected to be extremely resilient and versatile, having a completed two degree from different disciplines, right? Okay, so these are the strengths. We already discussed what is the strength and challenges during the study period for the major with specialization, major minor, double major, and double degree, as well as after or open graduation for the single major with specialization, major minor, double major or doubles the double degree. Okay. So I think I open to the discussions. Okay, if you have any question you want to share, your opinions and so on. Right. So Dr. Oi, okay, I open to the maybe some of us want to share their experience here. Okay.
Yep. And we have colleagues, like you say, this when we first started, we have colleagues from Philippines, so perhaps they can also share with us their best practices.
Yeah, from the perspective of from the Philippines practice.
Yep.
Maybe Dr. Edeliza Dorado is from Philippines.
Dr. Elisa Dorado, are you here?
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
Yeah, it's good. If you want to share something with us from the Philippines perspective in terms of curriculum development, in terms of curriculum practice in Philippines, maybe.
Okay, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. Well, actually, from my university, particularly our College of Agriculture and Food Science, we have this continuous practice of consultation with our stakeholders. So just 2 years ago, actually we have mm, revised our curricula, and we have what uh, the the most important thing that we have included in this revision is the inclusion of entrepreneurial courses on entrepreneurship, and also we have also required our students now to be enrolled both in on-the-job training program as well as research study or thesis. Because before, our student has this option to choose either they will go on research or will they just enroll in thesis or practicum and special problem. And with that, I think in a way we were able to capture the needs of our stakeholders, particularly the recommendations of our industries here. And of course, we have also stakeholders from abroad, wherein most of our graduates are working. So in a way, we have adjusted our curricula. And unfortunately, we have this pandemic, and that's why we're not able to evaluate now if we have done uh, properly or if we have done appropriate measures to address the needs of our stakeholders. But nevertheless, our curriculum here is also fluid in a way because we have for our certain degree program, we also have a major. We have, as mentioned by our speaker, Prof. One, we have also majors here. We also have, we can have a program with, for example, our BS Agriculture program. We have different majors. You can major in agronomy or in,
Okay.
let's say, animal science. Okay, you can also major in plant pathology, weed science, and plant pathology. So we also have a major in horticulture and landscaping. So BS Agriculture is such a big program, and yet on the third year of our students, they can now choose whichever major they want to go into deeper. And also, we also have elective courses. These courses or subjects, I mean, are taken by our students outside our college, particularly courses on management, business and management, and agribusiness. So
Okay.
Yeah, so that will complement the program. So I think it's also similar to what you had mentioned, except that we
Okay.
have different terms we use or
Yeah.
terminologies.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you,
Okay.
sir. Thank you.
So thank you, Dr. Adelisa Dorado. Thank you very much for your sharing. I can conclude here. Uh, the practice of the convergence curriculum is a global practice now. So we have to go beyond. So for example, we are here in Malaysia, and also we have to move on. Maybe we have also practiced a little bit, okay, but maybe we can move with more flexible, more fluid, and so on. So the students can have more flexibility in terms of choosing the area, the second area of their studies, as well as the elective courses or the minor courses they are like to learn, or they are like to gain the knowledge, right? So thank you, Dr. Adelisa. Okay, Dr. Paibun, maybe we can have one also from the Miss Evelyn's Gunn from Swinburne. How's Swinburne University practice? Evelyn, you want to share some things from the perspective of Swinburne University? Yeah,
Yeah. Hi.
yeah.
Hi, Dr. Wan. Hi, everyone. For Swinburne, we are an Australian foreign branch campus university. So basically, the bulk of our curriculum is actually designed by our main campus in Melbourne, Australia. Of course, in consultation with the Sarawak campus as well. But mostly the curriculum is designed by Australia. And then what we do here is our lecturers are allowed to contextualize, to like use Malaysian case studies and Malaysian examples and incorporate topics that are relevant to our students in Malaysia. So largely the design for us is coming from Australia. And indeed, like what you was brought up just now, is that there's been increased emphasis by our main campus, especially around work-based learning, because it is found that students having exposure to industry before graduating is very, very important in order to have career-ready graduates. So that is part of also the feedback that we have been obtaining from employers, where they would like the graduates to be more career-ready, so they are ready to enter the workforce once they graduate. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have a program, or you call the 2U2I program, 2 years in universities and 2 years in industry?
So far for us here, not yet. We do not have it yet, but then we do have plans to actually formalize the industrial training to provide more structure around it, to have better collaborations with the industry around that, so that we can give ample opportunities for our students to go for internship.
Okay, so this is normally internship is 6 months, right? Or 1 year?
3 to 6 months.
3 to 6 months. Okay, it's good. Okay, so thank you very much, Miss Evelyn. This is from the perspective of Swinburne University. So we are open for all of you to share with us here, because it is important to share this. The theoretical parts I already brought up to you, to all of you. Maybe you have any ideas, because of course, in terms of curriculum development is quite dynamic. So we have to ready to move on. Okay, even though of course there is a certain body of knowledge is combinations for the, maybe it's like what our colleagues Miss Evelyn says about the work-based learning, and then our Dr. Adelisa says about on the job training, as well as the entrepreneurial skills. So in terms of convergence curriculum also, we also can do some minor courses. It's look like the entrepreneurship, it is like the leadership skills, according to the functional skills also. So this is how we can do the flexibilities. So students also can choose not only from the second fields, but maybe the idea is the student also can have additional minor program from the functional skills that we need them to achieve, like leadership skills. For example, some courses from the leaderships component, entrepreneurship components, maybe in terms of, there is a few components that is what we call the soft skills, the soft skills. Okay, so maybe it's, yeah, from anyone to share? Maybe do we have a lot of people from somewhere here also we have, and also we have our friends, Mr. Emil from Petronas, University Technology Petronas. Do you have any, maybe it's different? You are engineering based, most of the programs.
Dr. Wan, I think there's Tess Panyong has raised her hand.
Okay, okay, so you can share.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Tess Payong-Ayong. I'm from the University of the Philippines.
Okay. It's
yeah.
Diliman, the University of the Philippines, Diliman, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So please,
yeah.
please.
I just would like to share that in the last 4 years, we have, well, because of the changes in the national academic landscape, due to the implementation of the K-12 curriculum in 2016, and the adoption of the new general education framework in 2017. And of course, with the recognition of the demands of the globalized world and the complex problems confronting the nation that require a broader, a more flexible and diverse set of proficiencies, the university made curricular reviews of 100 plus programs. So we did this to revisit, recreate, or reinvent our programs, and this includes minor programs from other clusters. So our academic majors and minors can be used to complement each other in helping students prepare themselves for a career after college. So while the majors program, of course, provides students opportunities to specialize in their chosen fields, the minor programs allow them to pursue other personal interests and to develop skills that are necessary to think and act in ways that may seem unconventional. Like if a student is majoring, for example, in chemistry, but the minor is in music. So the minors allow them to really pursue other personal interests.
Yeah, they can pursue their personal interests, like what they are like to do, what they are like to learn in the universities, right? It's great.
Yeah. So and of course that was pre-pandemic, and now that we are experiencing the pandemic worldwide, I actually would like to ask other universities how you are doing in terms of programs or courses with laboratory components or field school or field work components or internship and on the job training components. I would like to know how you did it in your university, because in our university, we are still thinking of ways, aside from online laboratories, we are thinking of ways on how to move forward, despite the pandemic.
Yeah. So every day in this world is face the challenge or difficulties, especially in terms of lab skills or practical skills. Of course, some universities, they do the, I share just a little bit of my experience. I can say most of the university, they do the arrangements in terms of curriculums where the course of focus on the theory, they bring it in France, and then the course which lapse, they try to make sure that the students groups, maybe a certain group, they can come back to the campus, follow the standard operating procedures, okay, by the governments also. So we are here, most of the, I'm not sure, maybe Dr. Oipebun can share from the perspective of private universities, but I can say from the perspective of the public universities, we are allowed to bring the students back to the campus, especially we have a criteria. One of the criteria, the students who have to go for the lab works, as well as for the practicums and internship. So we allow them to go face-to-face, because we believe that not all the components in the curriculum, in the body of knowledge, we can achieve through online. But most of the theoretical part is through online, but the practical parts is normally we also need face-to-face, but we follow all the standards of operating procedures. This is from the public perspective, public university perspective. Maybe Dr. Oi, you can share from the private university perspective.
I think our Director of University Services, Ms. Siti Fariza, has raised her hand. I'll let her go first.
Yeah, okay.
Fariza,
right.
Please go ahead.
Yes.
Okay, hang on, yeah. Let me just start my video. Okay. All right. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Fariza from University Services, Summer University Services. In responding to the immediate question just now on how the university adapts to the change to the pandemic, on the changing of the teaching and learning, definitely we also adopt the quite the same mechanism as what what Marzuki has mentioned. First of all, we will have to evaluate our current curriculum to make sure where there are components that we can push back a bit forward, a bit backward. So we push it a bit later, and we bring out the theory component first and do that first. But then again, also we had to reevaluate the assessment bit, because right now we practice OBE, right? Outcome-based assessment.
Yes.
So we need to reevaluate whether all these assessments that require practical, for example, are really needed, or we can just focus on what is required. Yeah, so that's one of the things. And of course, since the ministry has allowed us to come back, some of the students are allowed to come back if they require practicals on campus. We did that as well. So the students are happy to come back to actually finish up their practicals, and so also we have push a bit our January intake a bit later, so make sure that everything is aligned. Yeah, so that students are not behind in that sense. So that's that bit where some university has adopted to make sure that everything's the students are not in a sense, students can progress smoothly despite the whatever they are facing at this point. Yeah, I wish to, if you may allow me a bit time, Prof. Wan, just to share a bit.
Yes, right.
Sure. To respond to your presentation. Thank you very much for the presentation. It's very comprehensive. It's very good. So what the Summit University also is currently doing is actually to we are gearing towards a new curriculum framework where it's gearing towards, of course, the flexible education. We have bits and pieces already adopted in our programs, but it's going to be a huge change, and then in the near future, where we shall embed what you call just now the convergence curriculum. So to make sure that there are elements of other disciplines also can be taken by the students in their current curriculum, and this and that. Yeah, so we take into account also the future proof graduates, as you mentioned, the 10 shifts as what the ministry has provided in the blueprints. But all in all, I just want to share there are some challenges, of course, that we are facing, because when we talk about flexible education, flexible curriculum, we are also bounded by some standards that we have to follow. So I'm referring to, let's say, MQA standards, because we had to adapt and make sure we comply by that. So, but if I'm not mistaken, MQA is also gearing towards revising maybe the program standards so that it accommodates this flexible education. So I hope it really is going to be going towards that direction, yeah, because that really restricts the flexible curriculum that we are looking at. Because there's a lot of multidisciplinary, cross-disciplinary, and because of that, there will be changes in terms of entry requirements, for example, the body of knowledge required for certain programs, for example. So there's a lot of things that we need to think about. And in terms of flexible learning delivery as well, for example, we don't want to be bounded by the normal 3 semesters a year, for example. Yeah, so let's say we want to do 6 blocks of semesters a year, short block. So, but there are policies and standards that we need to abide to at this point, which we feel that it should be relaxed a bit so that we can have more flexibility towards gearing towards that direction. So, yeah, so that's the sharing that I can share as what we have adopted in some university at this point. Thank you.
Thank you, Fariza.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Fariza, Ms. Fariza, for your sharing. Okay, so this is our practice. This is now, I think it's a quite similar practice, especially when we face the challenge during the pandemics, right? So, of course, it's times. It's not.
Not yet, I think we have some colleagues who wanted to share a bit of internship as well as how they run the lab.
Hi,
okay,
Prof.
yes, right. Okay, you want to share? It's okay, please.
Hi, Prof. This is Chai Wen from Sunway University Business
Dr. Chai,
School.
okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay.
So actually, I'm the chairperson of the internship committee. So during the lockdown MCO last year, so we have planned the alternative assessment for the internship. So what we are currently doing now is we have this internship alternative assessment where we involved the industry panel, the industry partners to be part of the supervisor. Okay, so we will have the industry partner as the work supervisor, while the academic supervisor is also involved in supervising the internship industry research report. So we get the industry panel or industry partner to propose the topic or the research, industry research that they want to, research on. And we share with our students and get our students to work with the industry member. So they're actually supervised by the industry panel directly with the guidance from the academic supervisor. So this is what we have as an alternative assessment for the internship for students who cannot find a placement in the workplace. Yeah. So this is what we're currently doing for our business school.
Okay.
Thanks, Prof.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Chai Wen Teo. Okay, it's a good sharing. This is how the creativity we did the creativity we used in. This is not only the innovative delivery to make sure that all the learning outcome that we set for the course learning outcome as well the program educational outcome to be achieved. Okay, we want to make sure the quality, the minimum quality that we set, we have achieved. Okay, this is the most important things. We want to make sure, even though we have facing all the challenge in the pandemics, but we try to find the solution by make sure there is no sacrifice in terms of quality of our education. Of course, there is a lot of alternative assessments that we can use. Some of them, maybe some of us using the still exam, but still the take-home examinations, and as well as the real-time exam as well as using the proctoring and so on, right? But of course, all these things we did is because we want to make sure the program educational outcome that we set we can achieve. It's right. I think there is a few things that we discussed. There is a quite for me is a quite fruitful sharing. So of course, we maybe next times we can have more sharing sessions, especially in terms of curriculums developments, in terms of the flexible curriculum, or we say the organic curriculums, or we say the is what we call the convergence curriculums, including the curriculums development, including the innovative delivery, as well as using the alternative assessments, right? So once again, thank you for all of our friends from the, I can see here from the University Technology Petronas, UTM, Swinburne, UUM, University Utara Malaysia, HiComs, UKM, UMS, University Malaya, of course from our friends from University of the Philippines, Los Banos, Manila, University of Philippines, Visayas, UCSI, and all the of course from the Sunway, Utah, Unitens, UTMS, and so on, right? So once again, thank you very much. Okay, Dr. Paybones. Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Wan, for the very, very insightful sharing. I also now learn what is convergent curriculum. It's the new terms and new area for me. Let's take a good photo. So there's going to be a couple of things before we end the sessions. If I may request again, all members in the chat to on their camera, to turn on your camera so we can take a few shot of photos together. And after the photo sessions, we're going to play a short video clips of today's sessions, this morning sessions, because not everybody is in the same track. So we thought it's good to share what happens in the other tracks as well. And before you go,